Good day, good morning, and good evening to everyone in the Philippine athletics community. We are back again for another edition of the Track Talk Tuesdays in audio interview for Pinoy Athletics, one of the leading and independent athletics forum founded in 2012 by yours truly, Airnel Abarra, currently a PhD student at the University of Physical Education and on leave the grade school sports officer of Ateneo de Davao University and head coach of the track and field team. And with my colleague, Andrew Perry, we've been doing coverages for Philippine athletics for the past 5 to 6 years now. And we're serving the Filipino athletics community with our news, views, and aspirations to be better in terms of the world of athletics. Right now, we have a special guest for this Track Talk Tuesdays, our very own, our national athlete in women's 100 and 200 meters, currently the Southeast Asian Games champion and also the record breaker for Southeast Asian record in athletics in women's sprint, and also, of course, the Philippine national record. Let me welcome our very own Kristina Knott.
Hello.
Hello. I hope I pronounced your name right.
Yes, you did. You did.
Okay, so this is we decide to give an idea how it all started because of course with the COVID-19 we realized that we cannot do enough coverage for athletics because all the events both in the Philippines and also elsewhere had been put on a halt. So that's why we decided that at least to have presence online and to do interviews of the Philippine national athletes and other resource persons for Philippine athletics while we reflect on the things related to make our community better. So to get started, of course, I would like to ask your permission. First, of course, do you agree that this interview is recorded and it will be used for Philippine athletics or Pinoy athletics, and your views and your answers will not represent the Philippine athletics community and also the Philippine sports as a whole, and this will be done for human interest and of course for media purposes only. Do you agree on that?
I agree.
Okay, good. So rest assured that this is done only for human interest and for the benefit of our audience, both in the website, social media, and of course online forums, without any representation of Philippine athletics as a whole, but only for personal views and reviews only. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so to get started, of course, we would like to ask you basic things about yourself and where you're right now. And I hope you're doing fine in spite of the challenges now of the risk of COVID-19. So to get started, of course, tell something about yourself and your current situation right now, and of course, other basic things that you'd like to share to our audience.
Okay. As you guys know, my name is Kristina Knott, but I go by the name KK. I'm currently back home in Florida, still training as much as I can. Not on a traditional track. I'm just on like a big grass field and doing my part of staying safe and limiting the spread by staying indoors outside of training.
Okay, so by the way, where are you currently now? In what state in the United States, by the way?
I am back in Florida, so I am home in Orlando, Florida.
And of course, what aside from athletics, what do you do for a living? Are you only just training professionally? And what is your educational background or degree that you taken in way back in your years? And what level did you play for NCAA?
As of now, I am a full-time athlete. My educational background, I graduated from the University of Miami in the studies of advertising. and I minored in sociology.
Wonderful. So, of course, our second question is, how and why did you get involved in athletics? How did it all started? How was KK born in the world of athletics?
Um, I started running just strictly to stay in shape for basketball. I remember at the end of my basketball season in middle school, our coach pulled us to the side and said, "Hey, don't be lazy on the off season. It'll be wise if you guys run track to stay in shape for basketball." So that was like my main reason why I kept running, or why I started running. And then I realized that I was good at it, and then boom, here I am.
Nice. So, how long had you been really full-time athlete in sprint? What year in college that you started? And how did you, of course, as you said, it started only as a part of the strength and conditioning, but after that, what really, of course, listed in sprint, and then what happens next? How did you get keep going in the sprint?
So in high school, middle school, it was strictly to stay in shape for basketball. High school, a little bit of that, but I started seeing I can go places with this. So I started getting offers from colleges. I was still stuck on basketball, but I remember my basketball coach, she pulled me to the side. She was like, "KK, like you can go further in basketball. I mean, in track. So just focus on track." Um, and what she didn't mean like quit basketball, but do my best in track and see how far it will take me. So I got my first offer signed to Arkansas State first, and then stayed there for 2 years, transferred to University of Miami, and then yeah.
Okay, now, so did you do other disciplines aside from sprint, or you only focus on sprint, or you also do other like events like hurdles or like jumps whatsoever?
So in high school, I of course did the 100, 200, and then sophomore year they had me in the 400, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot run this. I hate this." So for me to get out of the event, I was like, "Coach, I will run a fast 200 if I can get out of this event." So I started focus or improving in the sprints, and then he took me out. And then my homegirl, she was the better 400 runner, so I was like, "Girl, you can have that because I don't want that." But of course, I was still on the 4x4. But as far as the open 400, no, I do not like
Okay, so our next question is, of course, thank you for the information earlier, and then you competed in the Southeast Asian Games and other events related to being part of the Philippine national team for athletics. So the next question is, what are the three things that you like and you really love the most being part of the Philippine national team in the present, and of course in the previous stints that you had? What is your three memorable things or experiences that you had?
that. I would say the number one thing, which is the whole reason why I chose to run for the Philippines, was the fact that I get to learn about my culture. Obviously, I didn't grow up in the Philippines. So this was like an amazing way for me to learn more about my culture, the food, the people, the language. So I would say that's the number one. Number two, the love that the fans show. It's nice to, go places. It's funny, like there's like a Filipino restaurant that I go to out here, and just to walk into a place and it's like they know who you are. And it's like they weren't even in the Philippines, but just to have people like keep up with you and support you and love you, like it's cool. And the third thing I would say, being a part of the team, it gives me an opportunity to travel to countries that I've never even heard of, especially in Asia. Like I thought I'll go to Europe before I go to Asia, but that was not the case.
Yeah, so really, athletics really bring us to great places, and of course, on a personal note, it really helped me definitely. I to tell you honestly, KK, to the benefit of our audience, I always tell this that as a coach and also as an aspiring PhD student here in Hungary, I'm not really an athlete when I was young. Actually, my first interest is history and social sciences, which is way far from exercise science and sports science. But then as I saw the condition the Philippine athlete in the grassroots level, that's how I get started to learn more about the sport and to really aspire to make things better. So it's a good thing really that you put culture the first thing that you like, why you chosen to play for the Philippines, because that's the most important to really to have higher standards in terms of culture, because everything will follow. Because if you are rooted really on a solid ground towards culture, then sport will be better. So next question is, of course, given the situation, of course, we know that COVID-19 is still on onset, and it really delayed and postponed most of the events for 2020, and then especially the Olympic Games, which is scheduled for next year, and also the World Championships. I think it will be still pushed through in Oregon, but I think it will be the same year, because so 2021 Olympics and other the World Championship in Oregon will be 2022. So 3 goals in the future. What after the COVID-19? What will you do that you aspire the most, or after the COVID-19?
First is to hit the qualifying standard for the Olympics, because I still have aspirations to do that. What else is happening after COVID? That's really it. You can put that in all 3 categories or sections, because that's like my main goal. Like that's the only thing I want to say care about, but that's, as of track, that's my main focus, is to qualify for the Olympics. And then we'll see what unravels after I qualify.
Yes, I hope that this season or after, I hope that the curve will be flattened soon for COVID-19, and it will be a better future for us, because of course as of this time it's very uncertain on here in Budapest. As I mentioned, I'm alone here, and that's why I really make sure that I spend more time to connect with more people, because that's the only thing that I can do, especially here that I'm the only one from the yes, I'm the, as far as the University Records is concerned, the pioneer Filipino student in the doctorate school here in the University of Physical Education. I will tell more about it in the future, how I get into here. So okay, so of course to qualify for the Olympics is one of the highest aspects for you as after COVID-19, if things would be better. The next is, the question is, you already went to Ilagan, you went already to different events related to Philippines. In your stint as a national athlete, in your personal point of view, what should be done to make Philippine athletics better and to be more responsive towards the changing times in the world?
I would say more exposure outside of Asia as far as competition. So I would say, I mean, it's nice to go to Taiwan and to China and to Vietnam, but I think we should be going against, they have great athletes, but I think we should push ourselves a little bit more, go to Europe, come to the United States and compete against the athletes here. Just so, if we do have a chance to qualify for the Olympics or for Worlds or for whatever, something greater than Asian athletics, I think it would be not so much of a shock when we go against like great athletes, because it's easier to go into competitions with the confidence, because you kind of already like race somebody who's faster than you, so it's not going to be like a shock. So I would say like competing with athletes outside of Asia.
Yes, I hope that when you consider qualifying for the Olympics, you should really consider, as I mentioned many times, to go here to Ostrava in Czech Republic or here in Hungary, because they have really good competitions. I've witnessed many times that I've been here how high the standards of the athletic competitions here, from the management side to to the professionalism of the community and also the athletes. It's really wonderful experience. It's in my opinion, of course, as an audience and then as a guest whom they haven't met in before, but how they treated me here for the past 3 to 4 years, it's really exceeding my expectations. So as you said, it's about culture, it's about exposure. So that's what we always aspire for the Philippine athletics community, the standards that we are in terms, not only in the performance, but in the whole cultural aspect, the whole community. Because I don't know if I mentioned many times how we try to put the grassroots meets aside from the staple national games, national open, but engage more young athletes to really try athletics is really a very good thing. That's why we try to make sure that we do these interviews, we do these exposures to make the public be aware that we have you, KK, we have different and good athletes, not only you, but other national athletes that deserves the attention that they have. So that's the primary goal that we are doing this. So yes, you're right. Exposure, culture, and of course, drive for excellence. So we're really going down now. So what else? Of course, your final thoughts or anything you'd like to say. One I forgot to ask. Who inspires you as of this time? Who inspires you? It could be your coach or whoever, your family, whatsoever, and how and why.
Who inspires me? Like as an athlete or as a person?
As an athlete, I must say, because we can continue on as a person after that.
Oh, as an athlete. This question is always hard because I don't really
No,
watch
I think,
other
yeah.
athletes, but who inspires me? Who inspires me? Okay, well, I'm gonna give a shout out to he's not my big brother, but he kind of like took me underneath his wing when I chose and decided to run for the Philippines, and he's a part of this whole journey, I would say. So I would say Eric Cray,
Mm-hmm.
because he's been here longer than me,
Mm-hmm.
so he kind of gives me the in and outs of how things work, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, he kind of pushes me like, "Come on, KK, we got to make it to the Olympics together." So I would say Eric Cray.
Yes, yes. Eric is one of the best I've encountered as well. On a personal note, I met him many times, not only in the national,
Mm-hmm.
but in when he started. Yeah, actually, when he started, we met around before I completed my master's around 2012 in Ultra, and from humble beginnings, how he was able to raise up the challenges, and now he's one of the best athletes that our country has ever. So it's really very heartwarming to know that, of course, Eric and really inspires you to be better athlete. Okay, so of course, final thoughts or message, because I'm sure many of your fans and friends from the Philippines wants to hear something from you, because I believe that one thing that as culture is really getting the community to be closer towards you. So of course, final thoughts or things that you like to say for them or anything.
Well, first and foremost, y'all keep y'all distance and make sure you wash your hands and cover your face when you sneeze.
Yeah, of course.
But as far as I know it's a hard time right now, guys. So I just pray that you guys just try to find something to keep your sanity, whether it's a book, whether it's a hobby. Like this is like a perfect time to pick up a hobby. For all these young athletes who are looking up to me, find a way to continue to grind, whether it's in your living room or if you can sneak outside, but make sure nobody's outside to get a workout in, but make sure you go right back inside after you get that workout in. So yeah, peace, love, and hair grease, y'all.
Okay, so thank you, KK, for the time that you have given to us, and we appreciate all the thoughts that you said for the Filipino athletics community. Again, this is Professor Airnel about the University of Physical Education, Budapest, Hungary, and also the head coach of the Ateneo de Davao track and field team on leave for Pinoy Athletics, the independent athletics community serving the Filipino athletics community since 2012. And watch out for more of our Track Talk Tuesdays, not only of our national athletes, but next soon to coaches, and even you as public can join our Track Talk Tuesday. So it will be available on Zoom, and events will be posted on forum or Facebook group. So thank you and good day.